Hi, whenever you're ready to begin.
Okay, good evening to the Board of Trustees. My name is Angela Pye. I have 4 boys, 3 of them within the Leander Independent School District. I had a little speech that probably would go over 3 minutes, so I'm going to cut it, of what I wanted to talk about today. I really wanted to address mental health and race. Addressing mental health has become an important aspect of most school districts in the United States, including LISD. However, I want to ask you guys as a school board, is our school district truly addressing it? Or do we have incompetent staff and inadequate assessments in place that are creating more issues for our children? Due to the time limit that I have, I can't give you the details leading up to the event, but what I can tell you is that the Columbia Suicide Severity Rating Scale was done on my 6-year-old son. My son said in a journal that he wanted to poke his teacher. No other context was given, no questions were asked. But an elementary school counselor received training over this tool of the summer, and she used the tool and advised me that she was instructed to use the tool verbatim. I asked her if she understood forensic interviewing, if she understood play-based therapy, because that's my background, or solution-focused questioning for a 6-year-old. She advised me that she did not. She advised that she only used this tool in verbatim. According to Columbia University, there's a clear disclaimer that the questions are to be used as prompts and not questions that are ever asked to be used verbatim, especially with an elementary school child. With time to give you what was said to my son, she asked a 6-year-old, have you ever wished you could go to sleep and not wake up? Look at the context of that question for a 6-year-old. If you asked me that as an adult, I work 80 hours a week sometimes and I'm tired. What does that mean? When my son said yes, she then identified him as suicidal based off of that question. She asked him, had he ever had any actual thoughts of killing himself? What does killing himself mean to a 6-year-old little boy? Because of time, I can't read all the questions, but she asked him, have you had these thoughts and had some intention of acting on them? What does intention of acting on them mean, again, to a 6-year-old child? She asked him finally, have you ever done anything, started to do anything, or prepared to do anything to end your life? These are suggestive questions that were asked of a 6-year-old. And if you have children and any of these questions were ever asked of your child, you would be devastated as me. I could share a lot more, but my time's running out. So the other thing that I want to say before that does is I want to also take a minute to look at race and how it factors into the scenario. I have observed white children at my son's school throw a tantrum, say they hate the teacher and wished everyone was dead. But yet because they may have a better relationship with this child and they know him, they realize it's just a tantrum, get him under control and get him back in class, and never did a suicide assessment on him. My kid said he wanted to poke somebody and it was done. My time's up, so I'm gonna make it quick. But my challenge to a predominantly white school district is I understand my son. I walk in this room and I don't see anybody that looks like me. And I ask and I urge you to educate the district, the staff on equity and equality. Equity, realizing that factors like race, gender, and income put people in unique situations, and we need to give them something different based on race. I also urge you that no staff make a decision to use such a tool with an elementary child in isolation. There are implicit biases that exist, and a principal should have been asked, or the director of school counseling. I would like future for this to be put on the agenda where I could speak in more detail or follow up, because out of respect for my time, I want you to know that I am going to continue to advocate for my child and all children because of the systemic issues that exist. I urge Leander ISD to create a diversity officer position for the district so that parents of color like myself believe that you really do care and that you are doing something to make a difference. I ask you to ask yourself what steps are going to take to ensure that my child has a safe learning environment, to ensure that staff that work with elementary school age understand the context of questions they are asking them. How are you going to repair the reputational damage of labeling a 6-year-old little boy as suicidal when people that know him would never say that about him? I've received apologies from LISD administration. I have talked to officials. I cannot speak highly enough of Matt Smith, who is here in the room, but I still have to say not one apology is enough to pull up in your driveway with your 6-year-old son and him ask you, Mommy, do little kids really kill themselves? Because his counselor asked him those questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Angela.